Alright, what's up guys? Today I'm going to show you how to do a little billboard character sprite. Billboarding is basically when you have just a single image that's not composed, or it's not a model, it's just a single flat image that's facing towards the camera at all times. So I've got my little sprite player guy here. Just a little walk-in animation, nothing crazy, pretty basic stuff. I've got him set to the bottom center is origin, since that's where we want him kind of sticking up from, if you imagine it in a 3D space. And he's a 16 by 16 pixel wide little guy. Now that's going to be important because the height is going to have to deal with the depth. So, okay. So let's go into our player. So I'm going to first just go ahead and set his depth to -8. So he's 16 pixels tall, but only about half of his height basically is what we're going to determine is the height level that he's at within the world, because he's kind of sticking up from the ground. It's kind of a workaround. It's not perfect by any means, but we're already doing workarounds, this being fake 3D and just sprite stacking and everything anyway, and it looks great, especially once you have collisions and everything in there, and you do your collision box the same, 8 pixels around. It looks really nice, and you can't even tell the difference. But it is a little bit of workaround. It's definitely not perfect, and you'll see why in a moment. But so anyway, getting into it, yeah, we're going to set his depth to -8. And then we're going to go in here, and I'm going to set the image X scale whenever we press the A button to -1, and then when we press the D button, or right, image X scale is going to equal 1. Then, just for animation purposes, we're going to say image index, or image speed is equal to move speed not equal to 0. And then, so it's either going to be 1 or 0. And then we'll say if move speed is equal to 0, then image index is equal to 0. So that way he'll just go back to this little idle position. Basic animation stuff. So also I'm going to change his speed up here because he's a little fast. I'm going to change it to 2. Let's go with 2. We'll see how that looks. Alrighty. So now, because my player is sitting up, so because he's vertically orientated, typically you would want to rotate him clockwise, because this is, since the camera angle, this is 0, right? This is angle 0. This is the way he should be orientated, and then you would put your origin right here, right, this little spot right here. But I think it's easier to make sprites, obviously, if they look the way that they're going to look in game. So we're going to have to alter the image angle a little bit. So we're going to go into our player here, and we're going to say direction -90. So we're going to take, maybe it's plus 90. Can't remember exactly right now, but direction plus 90. If our direction's pointing up, then we want to, normally that would be that way, so we're going to add 90 to it, yeah. So this will be how we keep him, how we orientate him to be like up and down vertically. Now if we wanted to not touch that at all, then we would, like I said, clockwise, put your origin over here, etc., etc. But with that said, I'm going to go into the room editor real quick, and I'm going to make this view a little smaller because he's real tiny right now. So I'm going to change some stuff. I'm going to change this 1280 by 720 to standard 16 by 9 aspect ratio, and then we're going to change this to 640 by 360. That should be half. 640 by 360, cool. So it's just a little bit more zoomed in so you can see it better. And then, yeah, let's go ahead and run the game and see if he's working right. Alrighty. It was -90. You see he's upside down, but as you can see, he's obviously, showing up on the screen the right way. Let me just change that. So you'll go into the object player, and we're going to say minus 90. That's what it's supposed to be. Alrighty, here we go. Alright, got our little guy in here now. He's always facing the camera. He'll look 2 different ways. Got him moving. Now here's what I was saying. So if we come up here, like on this wall, see he's under the wall, but then as soon as we go, oh, he's behind the wall now. But here's the issue, because like I said, he's at 8. He's basically, we're considering 8 pixels wide. See, he just disappears into that. Now that's because obviously he's in, he's in the object. Normally, you would collide with this, So what we're gonna do, like I said, this is just to basically set up the character. But what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna actually add some collision. We're going to use physics and make some collisions, and then you'll see that it actually looks awesome once he can collide and he won't go through the walls and stuff like that. So let's go back into our project real quick. And I'm going to go in. I'm going to click this. Well, actually, let's go into the room first. Over here, go into our room properties, go down to room physics, enable physics, and turn the gravity Y to 0. Make sure the physics are enabled. That's all we need to do with the room. Then we're going to enable physics on our player. All that's fine. The standard settings. We're going to go down here, click this modify collision shape. We're going to go here to this little, you can click circle box or convex shape. We're going to click circle. Now here is where it gets a little weird. So I'm going to set the grid size to 8. I'm going to snap that. Then we're going to move that down here. Oh, I got to actually set this to 4. I'm going to move that down here, and then we're going to just bring it in right there. So that's where our collision shape is. If you imagine, he's rotating around this circle here, and because that's the base. That's like, imagine it like a shadow, but that's his collision base right there. So we've got that set up. Let's go ahead and go into our block object here. Do the same thing. Physics, and uses physics. Click the physics tab. We're going to change the density to 0 so that it's a static object. Modify collision shape. It's already set up. Boom. Good to do. We're good with that. And if you're using GM Game Maker 2.3 like I am, everything will automatically be set to a collision group 1. If you're using just Game Maker 2 or even 1.35, whatever it was, this will probably be set to 0, but you can always, if anything's in a collision group, then they'll automatically collide. So last thing we need to do is go into our object player, and where this X and Y is here, we're going to change to phi position X, or phi position X, and then phi position Y. And then this is where it changes a little bit. So we're going to, instead of image angle, we're going to do phi rotation, and we have to do negative direction plus 90, because phi rotation for some reason is inverted from what image angle is. So we'll change phi rotation, negative direction plus 90. We've got our physics turned on for our little guy here. We got our physics turned on for our little block here. And now let's just run it, and you'll see that he can collide, and it looks really nice actually. So alrighty. So now we can collide with walls. See, he's not clipping through anymore. And if you turn, boom, press it up, go around, and it works like a charm. And yeah, it's pretty simple, pretty effective, and yeah, you can't even tell that he could even clip through those walls. Obviously, he's clipping through the outline mask right there, because the outline is underneath everything, and you could obviously include him on that outline thing if you just go into the surface and draw his little player sprite as well. He'll be outlined as well. But yeah, pretty easy to do, pretty easy to implement, and the best part is using Game Maker's physics engine. You've already got all your collisions set up. Sorry, I burped there. All your collisions set up, the whole system's there, and you're good to go, just like that. So anyway, well, there's how to create a little character. I hope you Hope you guys enjoyed it, and yeah, see you guys soon.